after withdrawing myself from humanity the way all good American teenagers do, and wrapping myself in a great personal fog, I would sometimes be struck by the overwhelming presence of reality. It just didn't seem possible that I was in control of what was happening in front of me. So whenever this would happen, I would almost always raise one of my hands and move the fingers, spreading them outward, and watching them move gently in front of my face. Like floating weeds. According to many psychologists, however, these are also signs of being totally fucking crazy. I learned that in college, actually. And in the very same class, in fact, where James Boyette brought his vendetta against humanity. On November 23rd, 2013, Connecticut's Department of Criminal Justice published a 48-page report detailing the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings. Its purpose was to provide closure, to find out why this 20-year-old shooter, Adam Lanza, did this. Unfortunately, the report concluded that not a single motive could be found. Paul Bloom, a professor of psychology at Yale University, calls attention to the importance of biology when analyzing violence. He says that violence is a part of human nature, shared by all other animals, evolved from punishment, defense, and predation. Even in the most peaceful communities, an appetite for violence still exists. Now, this highly controversial estimation calls to question: can we control our nature? Phillips' Experiences in Abnormal Psychology by Zachary Davis. The problem with both the why and the what made him is that knowing these things does absolutely nothing. It's useless knowledge. Nothing is gained from it. You know, I had met James Boyette once at a party in sophomore year at the house of a person whom I thought at the time was a friend, but ended up being. Well, that's not necessarily important, but he most definitely was not a friend. He was quiet. James Boyette, that is. But he seemed nice enough. What's that word? You know the word. That people use in newspaper articles, magazines, usually to describe a victim. Unassuming. That's what he was. James was just a normal guy drinking a beer. He was standing over by the cooler as I made my way over to get cerveza numero cuatro, as my friends to the south, or my personal friend, the Spanish professor, might say. Anyway, I really had no intention of bumping into James, but what you intend to do when you're steadily moving up to piss drunk and what you actually end up doing are two different things entirely. Oh, shit, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Now, I said I was sorry because I genuinely felt bad. If I'd known at the time that I just caused evil incarnate to spill his Yingling, I probably would have reconsidered my apology. But then again, maybe I wouldn't have. It's okay. You can have this one if you want. I haven't had much of it. No fucking thanks, man. I'll get my own. Now, I'm not sure if it was what I said or the crazy look in my eye that caused James to drop his gaze downward, but it was probably a little bit of both. Fuck! You okay? Oh! What do you mean? Like in general? No, that really hurt. What I do is I usually take the bottle and put it up to a flat surface and then smack the top. It comes right off. I used to do it like you just did when I was a kid. You drink a lot of beer as a kid, man? No. I didn't drink any beer at all. I used to drink Orange Crush from the bottle. That's all I would ever drink. Not beer. Hey, it's all right, man. No, I just didn't want you to think I was some kind of an alcoholic kid or something like that. No, I didn't think you were a kiddie drunk. I was just joking. You know, just trying to, you know, whatever, man. My name is James. Hey, man. I'm Philip. I'm James. What's funny? Why are you laughing at me? Shit, man, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just drunk. You ever get to that point where you drink so much that everything is funny? No. That never happens to me. I don't think everything is funny. And then he just kind of looked at me in the eyes again. I thought he was wasted. But as you probably already heard on the news or some other kind of syndicated news network, that's just who James Boyette was. He was a weird guy, and he knew it too. But there was nothing he could do about it. His nature had been set out from the beginning of time, the time he came out of his mother, and he's just, you know, along for the ride, the same as anybody else. The same as you, the same as me. There was nothing he could do to not be weird. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know why I'm telling you all this. Sound like you guys actually care. You're not here to talk to me. You're here because you want to know what it was like during abnormal psychology. Whoa. You want to know what it smelled like. The gunpowder. You want to know what a gunshot sounds like in a confined space. You want to know what it looks like when someone gets hit in the face with a 9mm hollow point and all that other awful, horrible shit. You do remember what I told you earlier, don't you? Knowing doesn't help. Gunpowder stinks. Gunshots are loud. And 9mm hollow points to the brain make a fucking mess. But other than that, there's nothing I can really tell you what it was like in there, man. The only way for you to know is for you to have been there for yourself, and you should be thanking God or whoever it is you pray to that you don't know what it was like, that you'll never know what it was like. Maybe you want to know why I didn't get shot. I don't know. I honestly have no clue. And since we're being honest, I really don't think it matters. I'm never going to find out. And I'm strangely okay with that. James, recognized me. I haven't told anyone about that yet. I mean, how could I? After he dropped the first 8 or so of us, what was I supposed to do? I didn't move. Some switch in my head that had been untouched for years was suddenly flipped, and I was back in the relative comfort of the fog. It didn't seem real. It was like a waking daydream. And that's when I saw it, you know. How he wasn't in control of anything. That's when he locked eyes with me. But he kept shooting people. It was almost like his hands were moving independently of his eyes, like they didn't need any kind of input. His eyes just stayed right with me. Hey, Philip. It's been a long time, old friend. And then he just walked out of the classroom. Just like that. I just sat there, staring at my upraised hand, watching my fingers move gently back and forth. Like floating weeds.